Hello and welcome people of the internet. I forgot to say this yesterday, but all music comes from GlitchX City, so do check them out. And I will try to remember to link them in the chat, but at least they got a shout out. I can sometimes be forgetful about linking people. But anyway, here we are with the draft review analysis, draft review, draft analysis, whatever we want to call it. I'll think of something to call it in the title. But for the UPBA, and music's a bit loud, I'm going to turn that down a little bit. And yeah, we have a spicy team here today. Please do leave a like and comment and enjoy the spiciest of spicy teams. The spiciest team I have ever drafted. For this league, I was somewhere in the draft order. I forgot to look this up before I started. Oh well, but yes, this is the non-upload division, but we will be uploading anyway. The upload division is actually pretty far into their season now. I think they're on like 7th week, something like that, if I remembered correctly. But yes, we were 9th in the draft order. And first up, I figured I'm going to pick a mon that I've had my eyes on for so long, but it always gets taken before it reaches me. So I first picked it this time. And we first picked Slow King Galar. This thing is a beast. And it's a pain to face off against, so I wanted to take it before I had to face it myself. Yeah, so we took it. It can be AV, it can be offensive, defensive, pivots. It's a toxic spikes absorber. It gets regenerator. Actually, I just realized I don't think it gets pivoting moves like regular Slow King, because I don't think it doesn't get teleport. But I mean, it switches in on most things. You can slap a type reduction berry on this thing and it just tanks it like a boss. I've seen it live an earthquake from a Garchomp when EV'd right with a sugar berry, and then revenge with Ice Beam, so it gets coverage for so many types. I don't know what else to say about it. So moving on, we then took second pick, because we weren't far from the wheel, so we had a lot of choices, and Diggersby was screaming at me. It was screaming, pick me, you used me in the TBL, I was great there, pick me again. And we've gone full circle. I believe this was on my first team for the TBL, all the way back in Season 5, I want to say. And we finally have taken it again. And yes, it did put in work in TBL, so I'm hoping it will do the same here. It's a solid choice scarf user, it's a solid choice band user, doesn't even need to be choiced. It gets quick attack, it gets huge power. You name it, it gets it. And it gets U-turn, so it's a solid pivot option. Moving on very swiftly, because there's so much I can talk about for Diggersby, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I've used 4 minutes talking about Diggersby and Slow King. So going back to TBL staples and things that we've drafted multiple times there, we've picked up Comfey. I mean, I say multiple times there. No, I picked it up once. I never picked the same mon twice normally. But for this season, I have gone back to some of my favorites. And Comfey, I loved using it on TBL. It gets defog, it gets setup moves. If you can set it up with Calm Mind, it gets priority, plus free, I believe, priority for triage on both Giga Drain and Draining Kiss, Grass and Fairy coverage. 2 coverage options that do not have a lot that wants to switch in on that type combination. And those that do want to switch in, you're set up so far that you can just heal back all the damage they're dealing to you. It's nice and bulky. gets, at the very minimum, Calm Mind. I believe it even gets some, like, U-turn. I can't remember exactly, though, but I believe it does. It gets some ways to switching, though, and that can sometimes be enough. It gets Natural Cure if you really want to sacrifice your priority for it, for a way to stop it from getting toxic. I've done it before. But moving on, this is going to be one of the most controversial and spiciest picks of the entire draft. Shelgon in round 4. Salamence hadn't even been taken. Putting that out there. Salamence did not get taken yet. We had all the points we needed. If we wanted to, we could have taken it. Spoiler alert, by the time this draft is over, I had 35 remaining points. I could have taken Salamence, but I didn't. I was determined that I was going to take Shelgon in the next draft league I joined. So I did it in round 4, so I couldn't get sniped. Not that anyone was going to, but just in case. This thing gets Hella Bulk, Rest Talk, Dragon Dance, wide range of coverage moves with a base 100 attack. It's base 90 and base 100, somewhere between its defense and its attack. Either its defense is the base 100 or its attack is the base 100. But either way, the other one is base 90 and that is nothing to sleep on. So, I can talk a lot about this one as well, but I'm not going to because this is in 6 minutes. 6 minutes, and we took the Talonflame next because I wanted a defogger that wasn't Comfey, so it wasn't locked in. I didn't want Comfey locked into defog roll. This thing gets Flame Body, Gale Wings. Gale Wings even post nerf is still something you have to look at. It also gets access to Roost, so Priority Defog's not bad as well. I forgot to mention that. Priority Defog is good, because it means that as long as you can keep Talonflame healthy, maybe run some heavy duty boots on it, boots are Talonflame's best friend, then you can guarantee that those hazards are getting wiped, even if the opponent outspeeds you. That insurance can be enough sometimes. Heck, if their opponent's setting up behind a light screen and a reflect, you know they're going to outspeed you, but you know you have something in the back that is maybe a choice scarf that outspeeds them. You priority wipe away those screens, or the terrain. Terrain also works too. I'm looking at you, Rillaboom. I'm looking at you. Why I wouldn't just click a Brave Bird priority in your face, I don't know, but maybe I don't have it for some reason. But yes, that is an option. Anyway, moving on. We do have coming up next. I actually can't remember what I took round 6. What did I take round 6? Slides, show me the RazorrClawww. No wonder I couldn't remember it. It was Hidden. Yes, the Hidden Menace. We took it. We're going to use it. I'm looking forward to having this as my dark type. The 2 leagues that you've seen me do draft analysis for so far, both of them have had frail dark types. I'm trying something new. I'm trying not always taking the bulky dark, bulky steel, and offensive dragon. And this time I've gone bulky fairy, bulky dragon. Haven't shown my steel yet. I actually can't remember what my steel was. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. And it's coming up in a couple of picks. But yes, Zorok, physical, special, both good. Good speed stat. Don't sleep on it. And here's the steel, Durant. We were getting a bit worried that we didn't have any defense in our Dragon Steel Fairy core. So I figured Durant defense? Question mark? What was going through my mind? Oh yeah, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I took the Durant because I looked at its defense stat and went, I want in on that. So our fairy is bulky, our dragon is bulky, our steel is offensive bulky. What am I doing with my life? Oh yeah, having fun. There is a secret little trait about this team that I will tell you at the end. But I've gone back to my roots and I am loving it. This team is bulky and offensive and fast all in one. And yeah, what I don't know what I did, but it's beautiful, it's magnificent, and it's also sanity questioning. But that's just who I am, so we're gonna roll with it. Because I question my own sanity, and that's okay. Because I do things such as drafting an Araquanid on an already very defensive team. Yes. Araquanid. It served me okay in a couple of battles I brought it to in TBL. By the way, I'm going to be mentioning TBL a lot this video, because a lot of this team is based on how I've drafted in TBL, because I decided to go back to my roots of both a competitive battler and my draft league. So I've decided this team's going to be a mix of things I use on TBL, things I use in my battle streams, but primarily it is going to be what I would use in the old tournaments I used to go to. And seeing if I can rekindle my spark of not using legendaries. So, spoiler alert, there's no legendaries on this team at all. And just using those mons that people would normally overlook. Giving some love to the mons that maybe don't get them anymore. Maybe just never did. But it's unfair because they are still good. They're just not as good as maybe some other choices. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't use them. And moving on to pick numero 9, we picked Delmise. A perfect example of what I was just talking about. This thing gets rapid spin, it's a ghost type, it's a grass type, both things that we were missing. It's bulky, it's physically offensive, it gets to add stab to its steel type moves. It is essentially an honorary steel. It's the only mon that I can think of off the top of my head that is essentially 3 typings, but with only the weaknesses and resistances of 2 of those typings. Because it essentially adds stab to steel type moves. Which makes sense, because it is an anchor. So why would you not add stab to your steel type moves? Moving swiftly on though, because I don't really have too much to say about Delmise. It will show you what it can do. And for those of you who've been a fan of my channel for a long time would know what it can do. So moving on, we have Mienfoo. Yet again, something that gets overlooked because Mienshao is so good, but Mienfoo still has decent stats. It can still pack a punch. Or a jab. I don't know what you want to call it. But it has regenerated just like its big evolution. And it also gets access to nice coverage and nice nice coverage, nice speed. Can be a Scarfer. All of the above. Moving on though. Also its Mienshao was taken. So moving on, we have Luxray, which honestly, spoiler alert for week 1, I forgot was on my team. And also didn't really like it. But I probably looking at the battle in a whole, I didn't really like it in general. But I forgot it was on my team when it came to actually have the match. When building the team, I remembered it was there, didn't like it, overlooked it. Then the match came along, and yeah, okay, there were times I wish I had it. But overall, I do like this. An Intimidator as a gut user. It can fill 2 roles, defensive and offensive. But it needs the right matchup, in my opinion. So it's something that you shouldn't expect me to bring much. But when it does come, I feel like it will put in work. I will admit I do overlook it myself. It's not my favorite electric type. But I think it will have its week. I just don't know when it will be. it has mixed uses, and it is a great offensive mon, but its speed isn't all there. It's a great defensive mon, thanks to Intimidate, but it still will take a huge hit from anything super effective. Its typing, amazing, only weak to ground, so if it gets hit by a ground type move, it's dropping. But it might take two physical moves to drop it, or one special. It's odd, but that's why I like it. But yeah, spoiler alert for week 1. There was a lot of this team that I wanted to bring, but I only had 6 slots. I think Luxury probably would have been like number 9 on the 2 bring. But number 7, and it just narrowly missed out on a spot, was Haunter. And I had to take this as slot number 12. I know I already have a Ghost. I questioned that myself, and yes, I don't like knockoff, but I'm an NFE team. I don't like knockoff anyway. Haunter just packs a wallop. Let's be fair, it's not living a hit anyway. Do I really need to worry about double Ghost when I have a Diggersby right there? And a Zorok. And a Slow King. I'm desperately trying to find something on this team that doesn't... Actually, wait, I like name Slow King. It's weak to Ghost. Yeah, anyway. I think Haunter puts in hella work on this team. Yes, it doubles up on my Poison and my Ghost typing. But it's got a lot of versatile uses, and I don't think I quite showed every way that I could use it in TBL, and I really was looking for the right league to draft it in to finally show all the ways that I didn't use it in the TBL. Towards the end of the TBL, I got a bit lazy. I started to bring same sets multiple times in a row. I bought a lot of Choice Scarf Haunter. Didn't really show off Choice Specs. Didn't really bring the Sash. And I don't think I did Haunter justice. I was creative with all my other sets, but I kept going back to the same Haunter sets. And that's not fair on Haunter. So this is my chance to finally do justice to Haunter and show off all the creativity it can have on a team, and especially on a team like this. Like, the reason I like it, and the reason I like Mienfoo as well, out of the 3 NFEs I have on this team, only one of them realistically uses an Eviolite. Haunter and Mienfoo both tend to gravitate towards different items. Mienfoo gravitates heavily towards your choice scarves and your choice bands, just like Mien Xiao. Haunter is more versatile than even Mienfoo. Mienfoo would probably have like the odd sash here and there, maybe a Thai production berry, maybe Salak berry. I think it gets endure, but Haunter, you can run it as sort of a trapping variant. I've done Perish Trap before. It's very hard to pull off because of its frailty, but you kind of only need to keep it alive for like 1 or 2 turns. As long as you can mean look them in, maybe catch them on a switch in, then you Perish Song and they are trapped. You then click Protect. That's 2 turns used up right now. And if you're lucky enough, maybe you get double Protect off. But that's what I mean. It's quite versatile. It's a very heavy hitter as well. So it does have the choice specs, choice scarf variants, life orb variants. It hits very hard and it's quite fast. Not Gengar fast, but still fast. And unlike Gengar, it never lost Levitate, so it is another ground immunity for me. Anyway, I've been rambling on about this team for 20 minutes now, and I think it's time I wrap it up. So, be sure to check out the first week 1 battle next week, and be sure to check out the other coaches in the UPBA. I'm gonna wait to see who's uploading and then drop their links in the chat, in the description below. But yes, please do check them all out. Check out the rest of my Draft League content, and most of all, most of all, take care and be kind. Bye.